Welcome back to the channel. Because Lexus may be preparing something that could completely change the way we think about the LX. This is the 2027 Lexus LX 900. And from the outside, it looks like Lexus took everything people already love about the LX and turned the volume way up. The huge signature grille, the wide body, the aggressive LED headlights, the massive wheels, and that blacked-out presence make this SUV look less like a luxury family hauler and more like a vehicle built to own the road. But here is where things get interesting. The most important change may not be hiding underneath the hood. It may be sitting inside the cabin, where Lexus appears to be pushing the LX toward something much more personal, much more comfortable, and potentially much more intelligent. So, let's start with the part everyone notices first. From the front, this LX 900 has a serious attitude. The spindle-style grille dominates the nose, while the slim LED headlights give it a sharper expression. The hood rises high above the front end, creating that classic LX feeling of strength and authority, but the details make it feel more modern. Look closer, and the lower air openings add even more aggression, while the glossy black finish makes every body line stand out under the light. And then there are the wheels. The large multi-spoke design fills the arches perfectly, giving the SUV a planted stance without losing its premium character. But Lexus has always understood that a luxury SUV needs more than just a good face. It needs presence from every angle. Walk around to the rear and the LX 900 continues that theme with a wide, clean design, sharp LED taillights, and a muscular lower section. And yes, the exhaust setup shown here gives us another clue about the personality Lexus is trying to create. This isn't designed to look soft. It wants to remind you that there is serious performance underneath all that luxury. But wait until you see what happens when you open the doors. Because this is where the LX 900 starts playing a completely different game. The cabin shown here combines deep red leather with black accents, creating an atmosphere that feels expensive without becoming overly traditional. The front seats look heavily bolstered and carefully shaped, while the rear compartment takes the luxury idea even further. You have wide individual style seating, a large center console, dedicated controls, cue folders, and enough visual space to make the back feel more like a private lounge than a normal SUV bench. And that may become one of the LX 900's biggest advantages. Imagine spending hours on an American highway and realizing the vehicle isn't constantly demanding your attention. It's simply keeping you comfortable. But there is another detail that deserves attention. Look at the dashboard. Instead of relying on one giant screen for everything, this concept-like cabin uses a layered display arrangement, with navigation and vehicle information positioned where the driver and passenger can actually interact with them. Physical controls remain around the screens, which could be a smart decision because luxury technology is only useful when you can operate it without taking your eyes off the road. And now we get to the question everyone is going to ask. What is Lexus putting under the hood? The LX 900 name suggests that Lexus could be targeting a much higher level of performance than the standard 60 lineup, potentially combining a powerful engine with advanced electrification or performance-focused tuning. Exact production specifications remain unconfirmed, but the visual direction tells us something important. Lexus doesn't appear interested in building a luxury SUV that only looks powerful. The chassis, suspension, brakes, tires, and drivetrain would all need to work together to make this enormous machine feel controlled. And that becomes even more interesting when the road disappears. Because the LX has always carried a reputation for serious off-road capability, and a future LX 900 could take that foundation into a more performance-oriented direction. Imagine having the comfort of a premium luxury SUV, the technology of a modern flagship, and the hardware to leave the pavement whenever you want. That combination is where this Lexus could become genuinely dangerous for its competitors. Mercedes has its GLS, BMW has the XM and X7, Range Rover has its own formula. But Lexus has something different, a reputation for combining long-distance comfort with rugged durability. And if the LX 900 can preserve that identity while adding more power, smarter technology, and a cabin this dramatic, it could become one of the most interesting luxury SUVs of its generation. But here is the real question. Would you actually take an LX 900 over a German luxury SUV if Lexus gave it the performance to match? Because the answer may depend on something that horsepower numbers cannot measure: how confident you feel when you are behind the wheel. The 2027 Lexus LX 900, at least in this future interpretation, isn't trying to be another oversized luxury SUV covered in screens. It is trying to combine presence, performance, comfort, and toughness into one machine. And honestly, that could be exactly what makes it special. If Lexus really pushes the LX this far, the next generation of luxury SUVs may not be about choosing between comfort and capability anymore. You could get both. So, would you call this the ultimate Lexus SUV? Or does Lexus still have something even crazier waiting behind the curtain? Let me know in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe for more future cars, and stay tuned because the next Lexus could be even more surprising than this one.